Welcome. I'm Darla Hoffman, certified sommelier and owner of About Wine, which is a wine education and marketing company. And I'm thrilled to have David Babich here from New Zealand, Auckland, in the North Island of New Zealand. And the family has been around has been in business for 102 years. And David is third generation, and he's carved out some time for us here in Phoenix, Arizona, to taste some wines and tell us his story. We're going to taste a Rosé and a Pinot Noir today. So I'm very excited to have you here on National Wine Days. So welcome.
Great to be here, Darla.
Thank you. Tell me a little bit about your winery and
Sure.
and the wines that we're going to taste.
Yeah. Well, our winery is 102 years old, so we're New Zealand's oldest family winemakers. My grandfather was actually born in Croatia. He was born in 1895 into a very poor farming family situated in Dalmatia, Croatia, and it was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and it was a difficult place to be living in if you were a peasant farmer. So my great-grandparents decided that they would immigrate their boys to the New World. They had 7 sons, they didn't have any daughters, and they felt that the sooner they could get the kids out of the country, the better, and they could begin new lives elsewhere. So my great-grandfather heard that New Zealand offered a lot of opportunity. I'm not sure he knew where New Zealand was, but he decided that was the place to go. And so he bought a ticket and he sent his first son off in 1904, age 16, and then over the next 6 years sent 6 of the sons to the Southern Hemisphere. And my grandfather was the second to last to go. In fact, he left home when he was 14 and waved goodbye to his parents, never saw them again, got on a boat and joined his brothers in New Zealand doing manual labour. So he arrives in New Zealand in April 1910, and starts manual labour work, but he sees that there's a gap in the market for production of wine. So when he's 16, he leases a piece of land and puts a vineyard on the land. Plants a vineyard. Yeah, he's not mucking around, just get on with it. And when he's 19, the grapes are producing, the vines are old enough to produce grapes. It takes about 3 years from planting. And so he gets his wine license and starts making wine. And fast forward 102 years later, here we are.
Wow. So you've been at the helm for how long now?
10 years or so I've been running the company. I'm the CEO. I'm also a trained winemaker. So I've got a very good insight into the viticulture and winemaking within the business. It always remains the key thing.
It sounds like you've done everything, business, and gotten your hands dirty, and pretty much
done everything.
Done it all.
Cleaned a lot of tanks, dug a lot of tanks out with skins.
That's admirable,
yeah.
and that's just a beautiful thing. And that shows soul, I think.
Yeah, well, it's useful because you have to understand in a complex business like ours, we're grape growing, we're winemaking, we're brand marketing into 50 countries around the world and selling into those markets and then administering the business. There's a lot of specialty areas you're covering, so you kind of have to know a little bit about all of them.
Do you come to Arizona much?
On an annual basis. It's a market that we're looking to grow.
Excellent.
So,
well, we're excited about that.
Yeah, and I think with this heat, there's definitely a place for wines like our Rosé.
Yeah, let's taste your Rosé.
Yeah.
Tell me about this one.
Well, this is one of my favourite wines that we produce, and New Zealand has a 6-month seasonal difference from the US, so we've just come through our summer, and I've drunk a lot of this wine over summer. It's a single vineyard, 100% Pinot Noir Rosé.
Pinot Noir.
Yep, so the base grape variety is Pinot Noir.
Everything in New Zealand is 6 months ahead of us, so you guys will never have wines out before you.
No, never will. So we've just finished our 2018 vintage, and those wines are coming out in the next few months.
Very exciting.
So this wine has some.
Let's put this up here and let the people see.
So I think primary characters coming through are strawberries. There's a creaminess on the nose. When this wine is fermenting and we're processing it, the winery smells of strawberries and cream. Mm-hmm. It's got a confectionery character, which is very nice and rosé, but dry on the palate. So we have low residual sugar. It's got quite sweet fruit, so we're going to run low sugar on on the palate.
Oh yes. I'd almost think if I had my eyes closed that it was a really light Pinot, just not even.
Yeah, you see those characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it finishes with that sweet fruit.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 4 grams residual, but with good acidity.
It's very
And
balanced.
it's just very, yeah, and that's a critical thing in
I
winemaking.
would never say this was a like sweet rosé.
No, no, definitely not.
Really. And what does 100 years thing on there mean?
Oh, that was, we put that on just to advise people we were 100 years, and what we decided to do during 2016 and 17 is put these stickers on, and what they are is that we came up with 100 stories that cover 100 years of our business.
Wow.
So people would see that, go to our website, and there's 100 pictures on the website, and they can click on a picture, and it'll tell a little story.
Oh, that's
just
so
some of them are funny, some are a bit sad, some of them are just entertaining. So they cover the whole spectrum.
I haven't even done it yet. That's such a great idea. I recommend you all do that, and I'm going to do it too.
Yeah.
Let's try the Pinot.
Sure. So the
Also has 100 years. That's kind of just saying, everybody, check
have a
us
look at
out.
this.
Yeah.
100 years, and here's some of our stories.
Mm.
So the Pinot Noir from Marlborough is typically more red cherry focused. So if you think about US West Coast as dark fruited and masculine, Marlborough produces Pinot that is more medium bodied and red fruited. So probably a bit more Burgundian than California and West Coast.
Definitely potpourri. You get a lot of flowers. Get a lot of floral notes.
Yeah, definitely. It's very floral.
Herbaceous.
Yep, there's a little bit of spice comes through.
Mm.
So this wine in production is all open top fermenters, hand plunging. All the clones are kept separate.
No oak.
10 months oak.
10 months ago.
Yeah, but we use a lot of 1 and 2 year old oak. So the thing with Pinot Noir is you want the palate to be very silky. And if you use a lot of brand new oak, you get oak tannin, and oak tannin is quite jagged on the palate. So you want this to be very silky through the palate. So
sure
we
is.
use a lot of 1 and 2 year old oak for this wine.
Ooh. You keep saying Marlborough. The wineries in Auckland, do you source from Marlborough, or do you?
Well, we also have a winery in Marlborough.
You do have a winery in Marlborough.
Our main winery is Marlborough.
Okay. And that is South Island, top of South Island.
Top of the south, yeah.
And then you also make wine up in Auckland.
Yes, so Hawke's Bay is in the North Island, and that's our fruit source for the North Island, and South Island is Marlborough. So we have a winery in both centres.
Okay. And vineyard, do you source fruit from both vineyards?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have 13 vineyards,
Ooh.
and 5 in the, 6 in the North Island, and the remainder in the South Island, 7 in the South Island.
Oh gosh.
So it gives us good supply of fruit.
This is absolutely delicious.
This is great food wine.
What would you recommend to go with this?
Actually, I think something gamey is always good, which could be venison, but my favourite would be duck. The duck and this, you just pick up on those gamey notes.
And the oiliness
Yeah,
of the duck.
and
the
it's
silkiness of
yeah.
the wine.
I mean, Pinot it's the broadest food wine, and that's a good match with a lot of things. But I always go for gamey because the wine Pinot has a gamey character to it.
Well, it's just lovely. I thank you so much again, David, for being here on National Wine Day, sharing some of the most wonderful wines that I've had, and hope to taste more and talk more with you.
Come and
Cheers.
visit.
I will.
Cheers.
Thank you.